Hello everyone, welcome back to biology class. The topic what we are going to discuss in this video is non-Mendelian inheritance, right? Or you can say it extension to Mendel's law. Extension to Mendel's law. In Mendel model of inheritance, assume that each and every thread of organism is controlled by single pair of genes, not more than one pair of gene, right? For example, if you take plant height, the plant height is controlled by only single allelic pair, caps T, or small t, or caps T, small t, not more than one gene. And each gene has only two alleles. I told you, see, the plant height, if you take, either the plant height responsible genes are either the individual has either caps T or caps T small t or small t. So only single gene only responsible for, a single gene pair only responsible for that particular trait or character of organism. So each gene has only two alleles, like two alleles are there. These two alleles responsible for height of the plant. So if you take one single individual plant, that plant if looking tall, for that the genotype or genetic constitution is caps T. If it is tall, either caps T or caps T small t, or if it is dark, only small t. So only one gene pair only responsible for that height character of that particular plant. But other genes are not controlling, not involved, right? And also in Mendelian law of inheritance, there is a clear-cut difference between dominant and recessive relationship. So between the alleles. Okay, see here, both are dominant, so that dominance is expressed. In this case, one is dominant, one is recessive. So that here dominant suppress the another function, recessive gene. But here both are recessive. So there is a clear dominant and recessive relationship between the allele. But after this, some scientists, they try to conduct some monohybrid cross in different organisms. But the result, whatever they got in F1 generation or F2 generation, the result somewhat deviated from the Mendel's principles. Most of the genes, they do not meet these criteria. So that whatever the genes, they are not meeting that criteria, it comes under non-Mendelian inheritance. If the pattern of inheritance not following or not fulfilling the Mendel law of inheritance, we are saying that non-Mendelian inheritance, right? So Mendelian inheritance now, if we are conducting one hybrid, monohybrid, definitely we have to get 3:1 phenotypic ratio in F2 generation. And genotype ratio we have to get 1:2:1. If the result deviate from this phenotypic ratio and genotype ratio, that's we are calling as non-Mendelian, because which is not obeying Mendelian principle. That's why we are calling as non-Mendelian inheritance, right? And here we are going to see some important non-Mendelian inheritance. So one is a incomplete dominance. The dominance is not completely, the dominant gene not completely dominant over the recessive one. That's we are calling as incomplete dominance. Next one is codominance. Here the allelic pair, both equally they are expressed. That's why we are saying that codominance. There is no difference like dominant and recessiveness. And next one is non-Mendelian inheritance is multiple allelism. Here one particular character of organism or trait of organism is controlled by more than one pair of the gene. That's why we are saying that multiple allelism. Polygenic inheritance is nothing but, so one character of organism is controlled by more than one gene. That's we are saying that polygenic or more than one pair of the gene. You can say polygenic inheritance. And pleiotropy. Okay, these now comes under non-Mendelian inheritance. We will see one by one. So exceptions to Mendelian principle. first we'll start with incomplete dominance. In few cases, because different scientists they conducted monohybrid class in different plants. And some cases what will happen is whatever the result they got in that observation in F1 generation F2, somewhat the result are deviated from the Mendel's monohybrid class. So the F1 phenotype, it's showing intermediate character. The F1 generation showing intermediate phenotype between dominant and recessive parents. So that's why we are calling as incomplete dominance. Here the good example for incomplete dominance is that the scientists conducted experiment using the flower color of snapdragon. So snapdragon also called as dog flower. The scientific name of snapdragon is Anthurium majus. The scientific name is Anthurium majus. And also some scientists they conducted experiments in Mirabilis zalafa. So Mirabilis zalafa is nothing but 4 o'clock plant. In that they conducted. But in this experiment, the F1 progeny, the heterozygous progeny, they do not resemble either of the parent. The phenotype is not looking like the dominant parent or not looking like the recessive parent, but they got some intermediate result. Okay, we will see here. Here, the dominant flower color is, for this, they cast flower color snapdragon plant. The dominant color of flower is, it's a red color. Dominant one is red color, but recessive one is white color. White is recessive color. But here dominant, the gene responsible for this dominant red color is RR, and the white color is, you can put it as a smaller, right? So like Mendelian principle we are following here. These are pure breeding parent organism. Okay, see, the dominant color of flower color is red. This is a homozygous dominant parent. The flower color is red, and a homozygous recessive parent. The flower recessive color is white color. The genotype of the red color is capsar, and white color is smaller. And this parent produces only single kind of gamete. So gamete, it's R gametes, right? Gamete with R. And this parent also produces only one kind of gamete. It's a small r, right? If you are making cross, so F1 progeny. So how the F1 progeny look as per Mendel monohybrid class? So if it is red, this flower is white, we have to get here red only. But here we got pink color flower. So pink color flower. The genotype of this flower is, it's a heterozygous one, capsar and smaller. Capsar and smaller, but genotype is heterozygous. But flower color, it's a deviated from the Mendelian's monohybrid class. Okay, capsar and small r. So, but we are getting only intermediate. But this F1 progeny, so it's do not resemble either of the parents, because F1 progeny, it's the flower color is not looking red, not looking white, but it's giving intermediate. Okay. So why it's intermediate now? This R gene, the dominant gene, caps are not completely dominant over the recessive small r gene. So that only we are calling this one as a incomplete dominance. So incomplete dominance, okay, see here, the para factor or para allele responsible for flower color is, here is, this is a heterozygous condition, capsa and smaller is there. But as per Mendel, so if the para allele present together, so one allele which dominant over the other allele, the allele which dominant over other, you can call it as dominant, which one is suppressed, you can call it as recessive. But here the R is dominant, caps R is dominant, but small r is recessive. But caps are not completely expressing or not completely suppress the expression of small r. So that expression is incomplete. That's why we are calling this phenomenon, you can call it as incomplete dominance. The F1 parent not resembling like any one of the parents, right? And if you take, you see F1 progeny, it produces two types of gametes, caps R and small r. We put Punnett square, how we will get now? So caps R, small r, caps R, small r. This one is caps R, caps R, caps R, small r, caps R, small r, small r, small r. So these three are, so this one is red color, this one also red color, this one also, sorry, this one is pink color. It's not red. This one also pink color, but this one is white color. See the phenotypic ratio in this particular monohybrid class is, phenotypic ratio is how many red color flower we got, and how many pink color we got, and how many white na. So red is 1, but pink is 2, white is 1. The genotypic ratio also 1:2:1. This is a genotypic ratio. So the phenotypic ratio of Mendel monohybrid class is, so actually in monohybrid class, as per Mendel's laws, we will get only 3:1 only. But here the phenotypic ratios deviated from 3:1 to 1:2:1. But genotypic ratio is same only. But here we are getting the pink color flower. The pink color flowers are, it's not here, the color is not from any one of this parent, but it's different from the parent flower color. So that only we are calling as incomplete dominance. Okay. So but here the phenotypic and genotypic both ratios are same. So that is why we are getting the same ratio, 1:2:1 phenotypic and 1:2:1 genotypic. That means the R, caps R was not completely dominant over small r. So these particular plants, they shows incomplete dominance in other traits also, right? So that's why we are calling as this one is incomplete dominance. One more time we'll explain. For incomplete dominance, which plant material they used in a snapdragon or dog flower? The scientific name is Anthurium marjas, and also they conducted different plants also, like Mirabilis xylopha, 4 o'clock plant. But what is that incomplete dominance? The F1 progeny, they do not resemble either of the parent. The F1 progeny, the flower color may deviated from the parental flower color. Okay, you see here, flower color we are taking as a character in this class. So the dominant flower color is red, recessive flower color is white. The gene responsible for dominant red color is R, caps R, caps R. Gene responsible for white color is smaller and smaller. It produces only one kind of gamete like caps R and smaller. We make class and we are producing F1 progeny. F1 progeny with it's not resembling either of the parent, but flower color looking like pink. It's intermediate. It's not red, it's not white. It's giving intermediate pink. So that this caps gene, that's a dominant gene, or caps R was completely dominant over the small r. So that's why we are getting pink color. And F2 generation, the phenotypic ratio also deviated from 3:1 to 1:2:1. But here the phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio both are same, 1:2:1. So that's why we are calling this one is incomplete dominance, right? So here we will see another example for incomplete dominance. So the gene controlling for starch synthesis in garden plant. You see, the garden plant, the starch synthesis is controlled by the pair of alleles. Some plant, the gene is the plant which produces long size and round seeds. Some plant it produces wrinkled and small sized seeds. And the gene responsible for long and round shaped seeds are CAPS-P. And the gene responsible for the wrinkled and small size seeds are small b, because these long round genes are homozygous dominant and these wrinkled small size are So it is a recessive homozygous recessive genes, right? But why these seeds are looking long? Longness, somewhat bigger size, and also exactly looking round? Because here the starch, this plant efficiently synthesize starch, so that the more amount of starch is synthesized and accumulated in the seeds. But in this particular plant, small b, they are having less efficiency. So that the starch synthesis is less efficient, so that it produces seeds which are wrinkled one and also small size one. We are taking these two pure breeding pea plants, garden pea plants, and we are making cross. Okay, you see here, it produces only one kind of gamete, caps B alone. Here it produces only one kind of gamete, small b alone. We make cross, how we will get now? The F1 generation will get, so caps B and small b. But these seeds, they are not large, they are not small also, but they are intermediate between both of this parent. So the seeds are intermediate. So intermediate, and seeds also, their shape of seeds are round shape. So the size of seeds somewhat deviated from the parent one, because parent seeds are pure breeding. Either they produces long or big seeds, or maybe small seeds only. But F1 hybrid, what will happen is, here it producing intermediate between the parent organism, and the size of seeds also, it's looking like round one. If produces gamete, will get produces two types of gametes, right? Caps B, small b. If we put Punnett square, F2 generation, what we will get now? Caps B, small b, caps B, small b. Here caps B, caps B, caps B, small b, caps B, small b, small b, small b. So this one is resemble like parent, this one is resemble like parent, and these two are, it's a intermediate. So phenotypic ratio, you can see how many seeds are long and round, only one. And intermediate round is 2 we are getting. And wrinkled small shape is small size, and wrinkled one is 1. The phenotypic ratio is 1:2:1. The genotypic ratio also 1:2:1. So here you see, but the phenotypic ratio of this monohybrid cross, it's deviated from 3:1 to 1:2:1. So this gene, caps B gene, is so not completely dominant over the small b gene. So that's why we are calling this one as a incomplete dominance, right? So next, the non-Mendelian inheritance is codominance. It's a type of inheritance, but in this inheritance, codominance, both alleles of genes, they are expressed in hybrid condition. So if the pair of alleles, if they are present in hybrid condition, in that the both are expressed equally. That's why we are saying that codominance. For this we are going to see one example for incomplete dominance. For that we will take ABO blood group as an example. This ABO blood group are controlled by gene I. The gene I is an immunoagglutinogen gene which is responsible for ABO blood group of human. So this particular gene which controls the blood group, how it controlled? By producing one sugar polymer. The sugar polymer, also you can call it as antigen, on surface of RBC, human RBC. So like we know that human RBCs are there. This RBC is surrounded by plasma membrane. This I gene which produce or synthesis the type of the polysaccharide, which synthesis or produce sugar polymer, so that are present on the surface of this particular plasma membrane. So this polymer, sugar polymer, you can call it as antigen. So based on the type of antigen present in this RBC, we are grouping our blood into so A and B and O and A, B, right? So there are 4 major types of blood groupings are there. And the gene has 3 different, the gene which is responsible for blood group, the gene I, has 3 different type of alleles. One is IA, another one is IB, another one is I naught, or you can say I also. So there are 3 alleles are there, but it depends on these 3 alleles. What will happen is that blood group also will changes, right? But this allele A produces A antigen on the surface of RBC. Allele B produces B antigen on surface of the RBC. So the I allele that does not produce any sugar polymer, or nothing but it's antigen or surface of the RBC1, right? So this ABO group blood group is, it's a very good example for it's a co-dominance, right? You see, we will see what are the different type of blood groups are there, and the allelic pair responsible for the particular the blood group is. Like we say, here I am writing blood group. So blood group, the individual blood group, either it may be A or maybe B or maybe AB or it may be B. The allelic gene pair responsible for this particular blood group is, so the genotype is, so if it is A blood group, the gene responsible for this A blood group is either IA or IA I naught. So IA or IA I naught, right? Similarly, the genotype responsible for B blood group is either IB or IB I naught, right? For AB is only one genotype, IA IB, and O is so I naught and I naught, or is simply can say it I also, or I naught also, not a problem. Okay, so these are the different blood groups, and these groups are controlled by so different allelic pair. Okay, so the A group is controlled by either IA or IA I naught. B group is controlled by IB or IB I naught. AB is IA IB, and O is I naught, right? We will see here which one comes under codominance. Blood group AB comes under codominance. Blood group AB comes under codominance. For example, we will take here one couple, father and mother. So mother, the father genotype is, blood group is A, mother blood group is B. The genotype for this particular A group is IA I naught. So mother one is IB I naught. So how this pattern of the genes are inherited from here to children? This particular pair produces 2 types of gametes, IA1 and I01. Here this particular mother produces IB, one type of gamete, another type is I0 is another type. We put Punnett square, how we will get? See here, we will get 4, here I am taking IB, I0, here I am taking IA, I0. So first one children will get IA, IB. Here IB, I0. Here IA, I0. Here I0, I0. So this blood group is B, this one is O, and this group is AB, and this group is A. In AB blood group, you see here that AB group is controlled by pair of alleles. The pair of alleles are, they are dissimilar pairs. So IA and IB both are equally expressing. That's why we are getting AB blood group. Okay, so you see, A group, A is there, it produces A antigen. B is there, it produces A antigen, B antigen. But in this individual, the surface of RBC cells contain, if you take RBC, they contain both type of antigen, A antigen as well as B antigen, because the allelic pair, they are expressed equally here. Together they are expressing. That's why we are saying that this is a co-dominance, right? So next, non-Mendelian inheritance is multiple allelism. So Mendel proposed that each gene has two alternative form or alternative alleles, contrasting form. But some genes which are having more than two alternative forms, only some few genes, they are having more than two alternative alleles. So that's why we are calling as it's a multiple allelism. So one character of organism is controlled by not two forms of alleles, more than two forms of alleles, either 3 or 4. That's why this particular phenomenon we are calling as multiple allelism. For multiple allelism, the very good example is ABO blood grouping. Like we discussed same example for co-dominance also, ABO blood group. So in ABO blood group, the blood group is controlled by gene I. So gene I, it's isoaminoagglutinogen gene. So this particular gene, it produces sugar polymer on surface of RBC cell. In human RBC cells, because these are animal cells which are surrounded by plasma membrane. This particular I gene produces one sugar polymer on surface of the RBC. This sugar polymer, you can call it as antigen. So based on the type of antigen which are present in surface of RBC only, we are grouping our blood into either A or B or AB or O. A group means it's contain A antigen. So A antigen. B group means the RBC surface contain so B antigen. AB group means the RBC contain A and B antigen. But O group is there is no antigen on the surface of RBC. So based on that we are controlling. But I gene, so this particular I gene which is responsible for antigens of RBC, it has 3 allelic form. One is IA, another one is IB, another one is I or you can say it I naught also, right? I or I naught. But here, so blood group is one single character, but this single character blood group is controlled by more than 2 allelic form. Like you see, IA is there, IB and I naught. There are 3 allelic forms of genes are there. That's why we are calling this one as a multiple allelism, right? So multiple allelism, we can see here the combination of these genes IA, I naught, it gives A group, right? IA will gives A group. IA gives A group. So IB, I naught gives so B group. And IB gives, so it's a B group. So IB gives naught gives AB, and I naught gives O group. So that this blood group is a character of individual. This blood group is controlled by more than 2 alleles. Okay, 2 alleles. That's why we are saying that it's a here the dominant alleles are these 2 are dominant, IA and IB. These 2 are dominant alleles. Dominant. A recessive allele is I naught is so recessive allele. So that the 3 alleles are responsible for this one. Okay, and dominant. Now IA, IB, you can say it co-dominant. So they are together present. IA alone. You see here IA is a homozygous, right? IA alone, it's a homozygous. Homozygous. IA I naught and IB I naught. These are heterozygous. One dominant, one recessive, right? heterozygous. But IB also homozygous dominant. But you can see here IAIB is here they are given. IAIB, but both are expressed equally. This one is codominant one, codominant, but this one is homozygous recessive. That's why this blood group, the character of organism is controlled by more than one allele. That's why we are calling it's a multiple allelism. Are you clear with this? Because as per Mendel laws, so Mendel what he stated na, so each gene has only two contrasting allelic form. But here the gene which are having more than one alternate, so two alternative forms. That's why we are calling it's a multiple allelism, right?